Georgia. This is 2023 or 2020. Is it 2023? Yeah. And
2022.
Is it 22?
All right, start over.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Start over one more time.
Okay,
Here we
I don't
go.
even know what year it is. It's October, isn't it? Still.
It is.
Who's your mama?
Who's my daddy? Hey, Walkers. It's Randy Dupree from the Wanderlodge Owners Group, and we're here at the big Wanderlodge rally in Pine Mountain, Georgia. It's 2022. It's our 20th anniversary rally, and I ran into some old friends. We had a little time to sit around and visit and talk about old times. And if you don't know everybody, this is Bill Pape and Ernie Ekberg. Ernie's been around this thing for a long time. Probably we can't decide who's been around the longest, him or I. Bill's only been around 20 years, so he's a short timer still. And Ernie actually got the thing started, the internet group stuff, really. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Bill, did you have something?
Yeah, what Bill here is, I'm here almost 20 years, but I'm the new guy, but probably one of the oldest. And we're going to try to get some history on how this all started. Of course, you know Randy, this is Ernie, I'm Bill. Now I'm going to move aside and try to come up with some questions to try to get their memories to remember, how did we get here today from there, wherever back there was?
It's been a long time ago.
Let these two boys do it.
So in about, I think 92 or 3 or 4, maybe 5, I went to the rally in the valley, and I saw a banner on the front of a Wanderlodge there. It said, come to the wanderlodgeforum.org or something. And I'd never seen a Wanderlodge or any kind of forum. And I was not real internet savvy, but that was Ernie. So he had an associate, and they kind of got that thing going back then. So tell us how that happened.
Bruce Morris and I, we would correspond on just Yahoo, and we would go on the Vintage Bird site, and it was a question and answer site, and a lot of times that was almost in its infancy, and it was before any of the other forums were started, and we couldn't get really any answers. Like if we wanted to know how a Sporlan valve was taken apart, or what even it was a Sporlan valve, or even, you know, if you have a problem with your tires or something, you could post a question on there, but nobody would answer. And so we got together, you know, privately, and we says, you know, this is not working. And so Yahoo forums, Yahoo groups were also in its infancy, and we created this forum that we could have a question and answer, and we could have emails sent out, you know, en masse emails and stuff. And so what I did is I went to the first rally in the valley, and I didn't know anything about it, and pulled in there late, and I had a stack of cards that was business cards. It said Wanderlodge Forum. And so all the guys who were standing around out by their coaches and stuff, just kind of like what we've been doing here, you know, I'd go up and say, hey, have you ever heard about the Wanderlodge Forum? I said, no. I said, here, check it out. And that's all I did. I didn't go to any of the seminars or nothing. I just walked all over Perry at the fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds of Perry,
Yeah.
Georgia.
And so I would take email addresses from, I parsed them from Vintage Birds, the guys are talking there. I says, hey, check out the Wanderlodge Forum, because, you know, we got some stuff going on. Well, we didn't have very much going on, but it was getting there. You know, the word was getting out, and it took 2 or 3 years for that to happen. And I guess that time you bought the software for your BuyByeBlueBird.
It was a little later than that. I was still in the valve business, and I didn't get on your forum for a little while because I just didn't know. I wasn't a computer guy, really. And I finally did get on there, and it was pretty active on there. I knew a little bit about Wanderlodges and equipment.
Yeah,
and
knew more than I did.
Of course, I'm pretty opinionated and all that. So Ernie moderated me several times, and it was kind of funny through the years, but he'd always let me back in after a week or so. You know, we both got over it. Nobody was mad, really.
I got over myself too.
So it was pretty fun, and I don't know, and way later on I started to BuyByeBlueBird and, you know, selling coaches and all that for other people. But Ernie's was way before me as far as the internet stuff happening, and we couldn't get much support from the factory or from actually the family of friends, which was a FMCA chapter, and then the Vintage Birds, the same thing pretty much. I mean, a lot of those guys were on there, but we did it all out of pocket, you know.
Yes, and my partner Bruce Morris, he wanted to start a pay-for-play website. And so he started all that, and he says, you know, once I get this going, you can have the old Wanderlodge forum. I go, okay. So he got that going in his own mind, I think, because he didn't have very many people wanting to pay for all this knowledge that everybody's given for free.
Right.
And when that started, I decided to create another forum. And Bruce told me, he says, you can't have this original forum. I says, okay. I had a premonition that something was going to happen like that. And so I got, I think it was Mike Bulris for co-moderator, and Ron Marabito.
Right.
And
old guys, most of them gone now.
Yeah, it's 'cause, the older guys than me. And so when Bruce told me that, I posted on the original forum that and sent it as a special announcement that I've created this. If you want to come over with me, it's free. If you want to go with Bruce, you pay. I don't know what kind of features he had, because he moderated me on that.
Me too.
So within 30 minutes, I think, after announcing that, I had about 400 or 500 people sign up, you know, and it was just from there. Yahoo used to keep track of how much you had, and I think it was around 3,000 members we had. And then I started getting out of it. Mostly I was focusing on my flooring jobs, because I was working up in Montana and stuff, and really couldn't devote my time like I did before, you know, to the coaches. And that's when I think you started taking over.
Yeah, I tried to go with Bruce, but it never worked out. He wanted me over there because I knew a little bit, you know, about birds, but Bruce was a little difficult, as we can all be. And so John Finn and I've talked about Finn before, we started the Wanderlodge Owners Group that we have, well, with some help from some other people. Scott Bishop, you mentioned him, and Rob Robinson and Gary McFarland. And those guys are all faded away, don't have coaches anymore and stuff. And we've hung in there now all these years with help from friends, and nobody gets paid. It's a free site, and we just try to keep the brand alive. And so far, I think we've done pretty good. If you look around this RV park here, we've got about 120 coaches here for this rally, and that's an amazing thing in itself, to see these beautiful coaches all in one place, like-minded people that just want to keep them on the road and have a good time. And I think I'm having a good time. You having a good time?
Absolutely, it's been great. We're signed up for next year.
So yeah, we've been in that spot there for 10 years. So Bill, you got any more questions?
Well,
anything to put in?
That's kind of how all this thing started. And I'll tell you again, I'm the new guy, and I started at one of the last rallies at the Georgia Fairgrounds, and they wanted $500 or $800. Bluebird was still in business, and I didn't want to pay that. So we got this original few people, and we were out on the apron in the cheap seats, and we had a good time, because we were customers also. We needed parts and windshields. And so now Bluebird's caught in the middle. They got this big rally going. They got those guys out there in the apron out there. They think we're eating their hamburgers. Well, we went across the street, and they named us Rally Across the Street.
Yes.
We had a cartoonist with us, and he draws his shirt up and says Rats. Well, we did not like that name, but it stuck. It would not go away. We were the Rats across the street. So we'd run a whole week, the weekend before, the weekend after. Pretty soon, the Bluebird people are coming over to, we're having more fun. We're having a lot of fun.
For free.
For free.
And the campgrounds are full.
It's full.
Yeah.
We outgrew it.
We outgrew it. They made us, wouldn't give us 25 sites. So we're full there. So we find another campground, Twin Oaks, down the road a little bit. They gave us 40 sites. We went down there. Hell, there's no way we'll fill up 40 sites. Well, we filled it up the first time. And
People were wanting to come over.
yeah, and so then we're looking, and where do we go? Pine Mountain had 150 sites we could get.
Yeah, out in the middle of nowhere.
See, we didn't.
Yeah,
Who would have thunk it?
yeah, it's beautiful
We
here.
didn't ask how old these two are, and we're not going to do that. But when you go back that many years, I started in about 2003, which is almost 20 years. And that's when this forum really started with Randy and Finn. And we had a few posters. And back to what Ernie said, we didn't know the answers. So you'd post till somebody smart would read it and tell us what to do. And that forum now has grown to over 9,000 members have passed through. They're not all here. There's a half a
Well,
million.
that's a lot of members. You know? That's tremendous.
Tremendous. And there's over a 500,000 posts out there. And we now inherited all the drawings and all the intellectual material that was important to us. We're never going to build one, but all the prints, all the drawings, and it's been a labor of love just for a few technical guys to get that all in there.
We bought a flatbed scanner, big as this table, so we're copying all those prints, putting them online on the Wanderlodge Owners Group. You can access it for free. Just be a member. There's no charge. So if you need a blueprint for how your wiring is on tail lights, it's there. And it's just amazing the support we got.
Well, since Randy is the owner of that site, made decisions that it should be a free site and an open forum. Then we got a couple technical guys here trying to herd the cats, so we screen everybody comes in there. We're going to tell you it's safe. We get rid of all the bad guys. They don't come in. If we don't know who they are, we're going to filter them and monitor them, and we're not going to have a lot of controversy here on this site. It's all about travel. It's all about families. It's all about excitement and fixing bluebirds. And that's been successful for us for 18 years.
20,
20,
22,
something
long time.
And we keep marching on.
We keep marching on. This rally, we've got a lot of young faces here, which is great, because we can't all live forever. But there's a lot of young people here. There's some little kids here. Actually, I met a family in 1994 at the rally in the valley, and that was Steve and Lil Pappas, and they had a little kid in a stroller. The kid was 1 year old. The kid, he just left. He was parked right here. He now has his own Wander Lodge. And that's just cool. That's cool. Him and his wife are here, and he's happy as he could be. Proud owner. Great kid.
I remember years ago we were at the rally in the valley, and we were parked out in the field in the preparation for us to have our site. And I was in that's when I had the 84 coach, 84 Ford control, and I had my 83 PT40, and I was in the 84 because we were fixing to sell it, and this one lady starts yelling outside, and she was no bigger than nothing. She says, "Where's that Ernie Ekberg?" I go, "Oh God, what's going to happen now?" And it was Betsy Bush.
Oh yeah, she was a little
She
thing.
came up in there with her cigarette, and she says, "I want to thank you for making us buy a Bluebird Wanderlodge." I go, "Sweet, And
Make you feel good?
She did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I didn't have to spend their money.
Yeah.
But she and her husband had theirs for, decades, I guess.
Yeah.
And she has since passed away. And George, I just saw him on a Facebook video. I think he's 70 or 75 or 80 years old. He was flying a Stearman.
Really?
Yeah. And he was doing good, So
George Bush, not the president.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank these two guys for getting it started. They've been around. I don't know how old they are, and I'm not going to ask, but I'm going to guess that I'm the new young guy here and probably older than both of them. But they've given us a lifestyle of fun, excitement, travel, mystery. You have to be able to live on the road.
And how to drain your bank account.
Maybe, but it's all fun. If you want to have fun and have some fixing in your background, fix. It's all about fixing, and our friends help us. These friends are very committed, and if you're in trouble, someone will call you, help you, or come into your site and help you.
That's for sure, especially around here too.
Yep. Just open your tailgate up, show your engine. There'll be 10 guys there with screwdrivers trying to break something for you. This rally is all run by volunteers, and they jump in and they sweep the floor and they prep the food and they keep everybody going, and we're all friends. It's just amazing.
You couldn't do it without volunteers.
You couldn't pay for those volunteers if you had the money. They work too hard, and it's just a great group.
Randy and the rally master Kip and myself, we talk a lot, but there's a quiet group behind this thing making it work every day. And food, you can't imagine how much food is in 120 Bluebird refrigerators. And if there's a lunch or a dinner, it just comes out. And believe me, you won't have to eat potato salad all day, every day. It's a variety of food from the west to north, from Texas, from Massachusetts to Oregon. It's all right here. I wish I knew what the fuel bill was to get here, let alone get home.
Yeah.
Ernie, thanks for meeting with us today. It's great.
Thank you, sir.
Bill,
Thank you.
we got some people out in the audience. Thank you guys for being here and being quiet too.
Yeah,
It's great.
appreciate that.
So thanks for coming. Join the site. Click on that down there subscribe button and look at Wanderlodges. You'll love us.
That's a wrap.